Kyrie Irving obviously didn't play last night. He hasn't played in the last 5 games due to personal reasons. What should we expect from him?
I think when Kyrie gets back, and by the way, the next game he misses will mean that in his Nets tenure, he will have missed twice as many games as he's played. He hasn't been durable, and even when he's been physically healthy, sometimes he hasn't been available, and maybe because of his behavior off the court, he won't be available even if his personal issues are settled to the point where he can play and he's physically ready. I mean, that's a lot of lack of availability from Kyrie. But let's say by the All-Star break, all that stuff is squared away and he's playing with this team. Kyrie has shown in the past that whether he's on ball or off ball, he is capable of playing with another ball-dominant. I mean, you want to call LeBron a backcourt player, a front-court player. LeBron runs your offense. He's played with a guy like that and has had to play off ball at times and has also been, the primary ball handler at times. Kyrie has already shown that he's capable of playing with a guy like that. Now, LeBron is a more generous passer because he's a more brilliant basketball mind in that respect than James Harden, and probably that made it easier for Kyrie Irving. But I do expect, at least on offense, for the potential for Kyrie to fit in with Harden and KD.
Kyrie is the person that we should all keep our eyes on. And we should all keep our eyes on because, in reality, Kyrie Irving is going to be the third option on this team. And the question is, how receptive is he going to be to that? We don't know. We know that Kyrie's a superstar talent. We know that he's got the nastiest handling skills in basketball. As far as I'm concerned, he's box office. When he wants to play, he is worth paying to see play. But I'm going to tell you, Max, what I heard yesterday. I was reminded yesterday, and I read part of the quote to you on the air, where I was told that, listen, he keeps this up, the Brooklyn Nets may have the power to void his contract. Now, do I think something like that is going to happen? No. I do not believe that's going to happen. I don't think Kevin Durant's going to let that happen. I think Kevin Durant loves him too much. He values him too much. He respects him too much. He wants him there. That's not going to happen. And I do believe that Kyrie Irving, because Kevin Durant is his friend, in the end is not going to let KD down. I truly believe that. But that does not mean we get to negate mentioning what has transpired thus far. What has transpired thus far is that he's left them to hang and dry. Not just KD, but the Brooklyn Nets as an organization being very unpredictable. He's healthy. He's not playing. He's healthy. He's not playing. He's on social media, caught on social media, partying with family members and friends. He's on social media doing stuff for social justice issues, which we all appreciate and respect, particularly as black people in this nation. And we definitely owe him a debt of gratitude for, and his charitable tendencies. The WNBA can speak to that along with various others. His heart is clearly in the right place. But the focus, the discipline, the determination that comes along with being a star of a franchise and doing your job first, he has clearly not mastered that. And so because of it, you have to look at him and wonder what's going to happen, because what is the Brooklyn Nets as an organization supposed to tolerate? And dare I say, Max, what is the NBA supposed to tolerate? What kind of message is sent? If you remember, Max, I told you years ago, the only thing that I lamented about with LeBron James when he made the announcement, I'm taking my talents to South Beach, how he handled things with Dan Gilbert, owners remembered that came CBA negotiation time. And you never can ignore that, because usually it's not the individual player that gets his comeuppance down the road. It's the players that have less value, and the hammer is brought down on the collective whole because of the actions of a few. You never know with this stuff, and you got to pay attention to it.
Well, look, Kyrie has to look himself in the mirror right now, because the fact is, you're right to point this out, which you kind of alluded to. In Cleveland, he was the second best player in a big three. Now he is the third best player in a big three. That's a little different. But the reason I say he has to look at himself in the mirror is, who do you think is a better shooter, Harden or Kyrie? The answer, by the numbers, is Kyrie. He shoots the three better. Of course, Harden takes a lot more of them. He shoots free throws a little better. Although, again, Harden takes more of them. And in terms of finishing in the paint under the rim, I think Kyrie is the best I've ever seen. Certainly, he's on a very, very short list. So from Kyrie Irving's point of view, he's like, actually, when you break down the skills, how is this dude better than me? But he is, and that's universally acknowledged, and Kyrie has to ask himself why. Now, as far as James Harden's concerned, Stephen A., he's the dude who's going to have to be sacrificing, in fact, because really Harden's greatness is this. A lot of guys shoot the three as well or better than him, at least by the numbers, free throws too, all that stuff. Harden's greatness really comes out. His usage is so high. He plays so many minutes. He's involved so much in the offense, and yet he's able to maintain those rates. Usually, if you shoot from three or free throws a certain level, especially from three, the more you shoot it, maybe that's going to go down a little because you're taking tough shots, you're shooting a lot of them. Harden's doesn't at all.
Max.
A lot of his value is that kind of stuff, how he can fill it up. He's the one, Stephen A., who's going to be giving up touches that he normally wouldn't be giving up,
Max,
more than Kyrie.
I spoke to two coaches yesterday, and I'll end the segment by saying this, Molly. I spoke to two coaches yesterday. They laughed at them being in Brooklyn. They said, all the talent in the world, let's see what Kyrie does. Will he even be there, Stephen A.? And they left it at that. That's
Stephen A., let me ask you one thing real quick. You recall, I'm sure, and this is right before my time, when Earl the Pearl Monroe got traded to the Knicks from Washington and joined Clyde Frazier, and Clyde Frazier, a very different personality than Kyrie Irving, of course. The whole question in New York basketball is, how are these two dudes, right, Black Jesus and Clyde Frazier, going to share the ball? There's only one ball. They won a championship together. It's not impossible.
It's not impossible, but you got to want to work. They wanted to work. They wanted to show up to work and work. You got to want to come. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.